So now they're reporting that time reflection involves waves of reversing progression through time, altering their frequency and direction in unprecedented ways. Keep listening. The discovery opens the door to revolutionary applications like in wireless communication, radar systems, and advanced imaging. Those are the practical uses. But the findings offer new perspectives on the symmetry between time and space, with potential implications for fields like thermodynamics and quantum mechanics. And what do I always say about quantum mechanics? I always say, like with quantum physics, quantum mechanics, this is where you really live in the field of infinite possibilities, where anything can be possible. So when we're talking about timeline jumping and you think that it's just it's a great thought, and yes, I do want a timeline jump and manifest. Know that physics is now catching up with some of the stuff that had been theorized for years, and a lot of the ancients have been sharing with us for eons.
Hello, I'm Jenna Lockard.
And I'm Leonka Reina.
Ain't it fun having friends that support the elitist dreamer in you?
This podcast is for the way too much unrealistic seeker.
Today we are talking all about timeline jumping and upgrades in general.
That's right.
And we have been hit with a phenomenon. I was hit with one. And in the last 15, 20 minutes, we are going to go on this beautiful, epic journey of awesomeness, and it's going to include some dragons. This month, the theme is timeline upgrades.
I love it so much.
It's very clear that's happening, and sometimes we have this weirdness and we just feel weird and we feel different, and then we feel tired, and then we question it, and we try to go back to all our reference points and say,
and we try to put them back in place.
Yeah, we try to put them back in place. We're going to talk about how to not put those back in place. But first up, some space weather news.
That's right, in Mystic Space Weather News. Today we have a lot of activity going on with the sun. So right now, you know that I've been talking to you about the solar maximum. And right now, scientists have predicted that the solar maximum for this cycle, which happens every 11 years, will be peaking during June and July of 2025. So this is what they predicted. We also are experiencing day 3 of the geomagnetic storm, and Earth's magnetic field is still reverberating. This comes to spaceweathernews.com. From June 1st, the impact of the first halo CME, so coronal mass ejection, the severe G4 geomagnetic storm that occurred just after the CME arrived, has subsided, but there was a lot of aurora borealis viewing in southern states. They thought it was going to be a lot bigger. But I also wanted to let you know that it's still very much in our Earth's atmosphere. The day before yesterday, I had this really antsy feeling. And every time I have that antsy feeling, it's because I can feel changes.
Yeah.
And one of the things now that I study a lot more of these geomagnetic storms, one of the changes that happens is that the magnetosphere will also allow for the Earth's crust to start shifting. And like the big earthquake that just recently happened, that was also really near a geomagnetic storm. And I was telling my husband about how the correlation was, and how some geophysicists have done, some studies, and they did the different data, and they overlapped each other. And I really feel like I was really feeling the Earth really talking to me. And I never really understood why I always get these messages. And I also know that if more people acknowledge or receive their messages, that we can help to subside some of the worst that can happen. Whenever we get these big geomagnetic storms, the Earth does its little shifting, or a big volcano might erupt. So the next day, I wake up, my husband's sending me the volcano that erupted in Italy. He's like, this is creepy. And I'm like, I know. But I also like to, make you aware that when you have these types of awarenesses, because I used to get frustrated. I was like, what's the point of me knowing all this if I can't help it? But the truth is that one of my mentors in this type of work did say that the more that people know that start to receive their messages is how we can help subside and dissipate some of that energy. Isn't that fascinating? So I like to believe that I helped by acknowledging the changes in the Earth's, crust or the magnetosphere, that I helped dissipate some of this charged energy throughout. And I know a lot of you are going to start receiving a lot more messages, because as the Earth is being flooded with this, like this solar light, this energy, these charged photons, we are being upgraded. Our DNA is changing. So I just wanted to tell you all of that. And this is going to lead right beautifully into what we're talking about today. Scientists have recently found that time mirrors. So we can go reverse in time and forward in time, and that it is now peer reviewed. So here it goes. So sustainabilitytimes.com reports that researchers at the CUNY Advanced Science Research Center have confirmed the existence of time reflections, a phenomenon long theorized in physics. So now they're reporting that time reflection involves waves of reversing progression through time, altering their frequency and direction in unprecedented ways. The discovery opens the door to revolutionary applications like in wireless communication, radar systems, and advanced imaging. Those are the practical uses. But the findings offer new perspectives on the symmetry between time and space, with potential implications for fields like thermodynamics and quantum mechanics. I always say, like with quantum physics, quantum mechanics, this is where you really live in the field of infinite possibilities. Where anything can be possible. So when we're talking about timeline jumping and you think that it's just it's a great thought, and yes, I do want to timeline jump and manifest. No, that physics is now catching up with some of the stuff that had been theorized for years, and a lot of the ancients have been sharing with us for eons. That's what I have for Mystique Space Weather News. But yes.
And that's going to go into our whole topic today.
Yes.
Let's talk about the book. Let me tell you why this book is open to a page sitting on the desk. Last night, what time do you think I texted you last night?
9:42, because I texted you
9:42. I wasn't drinking. I'm not doing drugs. Like nothing's going on.
Plant medicine.
I don't do plant medicine. Yeah. I was just going back to watch TV and kind of clean up and pick up the bedroom, right? Some clothes and stuff, right?
I'm going to do a shameless plug. So the only thing you've done is our 2 summits. I'm just kidding.
So the only thing I've done
recently is the 2 big summits.
An ongoing weekly show. So one thing that Lianka taught me about is when you lose something, do this thing called remote viewing, right? And she's like, you have to look for it with your brain, right? If somewhere in there, you placed it somewhere and then it disappeared. So if it's that kind of situation, you look in your brain, do this remote viewing, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think I got my wires a little mixed up, because I just was like sat there and was like open and I just kind of like dropped all the walls, all the barriers. And I'm like, okay, where is this Wella hair repair stuff? Because I went to Virginia and it's nowhere. I've looked everywhere and I just really want to find it again. I love it so much.
Yeah.
And then I took that trip to Virginia.
Yeah.
And I think I just left it out there. So I'm just going, okay, where is it? And I get like, okay, maybe look in the little trunk next to the TV.
Okay.
I do often like just drop things in there, like old blankets, like we've had a season change, so some of the extra blankets are in there. And I open this and this book falls out. It was like almost like stuck to the lid and it just drops out.
Hold on. But what did you hear in your head first?
Yes. So when I'm looking for it, it said, look up.
So she's hearing her guide's voice. Do you hear
so
that? So she's listening to her guidance. She's listening to her guides.
Now,
her
I
inner
wasn't
self.
like going and channeling the Arcturians or anything like that. I was just like open.
Yeah.
In fact, I didn't even inquire where this came from because it was just so like, oh my gosh, I have to text Lianka. Which is another great reason to join Mystique, because you need a friend that can hear you say anything
and not think you're cray
or hi.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, you can be, but
to be honest,
we still won't judge. But so again, it said, look up Aurora. That's it. It just said that in your brain.
It was almost like
And you're like, what?
Where's Aurora Luna Star? No,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't even go there, to be honest.
Yeah,
I knew what
you
it
just
meant.
heard the words. Okay, got it.
Yeah. And then I was like, well, thinking, I'm not going outside right now, but
Oh, because you
maybe
had seen my
maybe if I keep
post.
getting pushed, and I did end up going outside.
Yeah, because you had seen my
Uh,
post about them being
Yeah,
the aurora
because I was like,
borealis come
maybe
down to South
I
Africa.
am having something and I do need to go out and be with this.
Nice.
So then after I did that, I was like, okay. And I just kind of just kept boogieing along in my life. That's not a typical thing that I just like hear voices in my head, not in that way.
Yeah.
Like the way that I telepathically communicate, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Which almost made me think that maybe this was an entity. So then this book stuck to the end of that chest and it fell to this page. And this page talks about all the
Different
the,
phenomena.
the different phenomenons that happen on Earth and why people sometimes think it's a UFO, but it's actually just a geomagnetic storm.
Mm-hmm. And
So,
it has the word specifically aurora
and it
in
has
there.
the word aurora on the page. And I'm like, okay, like I can't make this stuff up.
You haven't pulled this book out.
So this book,
Oh,
we
yeah,
looked
that's
it
it.
up on
Yeah.
Amazon. It's from 1987. My parents used to get this series from Time Life Books, and they still sell it on Amazon. And I must have been 15 years old when this was new, and I was fascinated by it. So it never ended up going off to Goodwill or anything. And it's mostly about the real true science about UFOs. So if you're interested in it, you can find it on Amazon. It's
Right.
you have to look up Time Life, the UFO phenomenon. But it's old news. But it was literally I'm being shown this.
Yes.
I'm being
Yes.
shown this. So I end up going outside and looking up and it's interesting this it was light out last night for longer than it should have been.
Yeah, I
Let's
remember
just say
being
that.
outside too. Yeah. Yes.
So I was like, well, there must be something I'm getting, or maybe my body is being fed from this or something.
Yeah.
But I just kind of sat up there and was just out there, and it's like, okay, well, any other message here for me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it was it's just kind of I was just blank, and I was like, well, then I'm going in and watch TV and go in bed.
Interesting.
Yeah, but
Interesting.
I actually went out and I didn't want to get eaten up by mosquitoes, so I stayed out for 15, 20 minutes, and
Yeah.
I was almost like maybe I go into meditation here, and then I'm like, no, I'm not doing that outside, not in our backyard. So that was just kind of cool and weird, and
I think that you're still going to get more messages around it. I also think that was a clear confirmation that you are being communicated with. And if you ever have that feeling that you are like it could be entity, I always stop and say, hi, it's good.
Hi is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that way, I mean,
What
everything
I'm
else has to listen to
Yeah.
you and be gone. So
Well, and
you knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is after I'd already written up a meditation for you guys about the timeline jumping.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting, you can kind of raise your own hand in your head or say it on the chat. But I am clearly aware that I feel like a different person since last week.
Yeah.
Things have changed. I'm hearing things differently in all ways.
Yeah.
I was listening to a speaker talk that I, used to be fascinated with, and I'm like, this is just kind of everyday stuff. And I'm thinking that this is us timeline upgrading. This is us
Yes.
timeline
Yes.
jumping, and
Yes.
this is why we're here, and this is why we have this community for our talk show and for Mystique. So that's that. So I did a little homework about timeline jumping, and I also have a little awesomeness set up, and we've got about 30 minutes.
Yes.
So do you want to jump into some of these topics about?
Yeah, I'm going to read a couple comments from the chat as well, because you asked if anybody was feeling different from the
Yeah.
summit, and there has been a lot of chatter about that. So let me
Right.
pull those up. A lot of people said that they are. I came back every single day after the summit. I was wiped out, which
Yeah.
we heard Karen say,
I think that's a
yes,
indication, huh?
it is definitely Ascension upgrades, Ascension. She always says, then go take a nap. I didn't ask my spirit guides, but I did. We were asking our spirit guides to change a lot of stuff during the summit. We were clearing.
I mean, clearly something happened on Karen's show. Yeah, I mean,
Tarek was doing tons of clearings, and every single time I'm like, yes, with all my heart, like, yes, I want a clearing and healing for
Yeah.
this. Yes, I want. And so, of course, my guides had been called in, and Karen said, go take a nap. In my mind, I could not stay awake if I tried.
No, that's how I was that day with her too. I was like, I even came back to Lianka the next day and said, Karen did something to me.
I said, no, I think yeah, I think you've been upgraded. Your guides
Yeah.
did something for you.
Yeah.
And I know it's so funny, but yes, I was telling her because I started having that pass out feeling like a couple days before you did.
Right.
And now I feel great, and you're
And now I'm kind of
integration.
still in my little like,
And that's
it's
okay.
Monday, do I have to work? That's how I was yesterday. And I got a ton done yesterday. I, I really am being called to write again. And I'm like, interesting. Like my
Oh.
last book, I think, was in almost like 2014.
Uh-huh.
So it's been over 10 years since I've written a book.
Wow.
So
Well, I can definitely see that you have that back in your heart again.
yeah,
Because you've got so much more to talk about,
I
I
know.
imagine.
Well, now it's still gonna be a fiction. I have an idea.
Oh, cool.
I started some ideas.
Oh, cool.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I would love to hear some of like who did you really get something out of? Wait, I feel like Karen and Tarek were my helpers, and Suzanne, who channeled my dad.
Yeah.
That was
Wow, that was fascinating. It was so spot
I
on.
could have thought I had this horrible relationship with my father.
Yeah.
I mean,
He wasn't,
if he
privy.
wasn't just like being an open channel,
Yeah.
like it's like they could have had conclusions.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Caesar from the chat says, another thing, ladies, based upon the topic, I did have a timeline experience three years ago when I went to Mount Shasta. I'm curious as to what those were. Yeah.
Those aren't just like baby jumps either.
No,
Yeah.
those are shifts for
Yeah.
sure. And it's funny, I love the fact that you came up with the idea of timeline upgrading, or because now, just even based upon what I just shared, you can go backwards in time or forwards in time. You can be in other dimensions and parallel universes. So it's important to acknowledge where we really want to be with our timeline, right? So like, yeah, I can jump around all over the place and go and love on my younger self or whatnot, but and we actually do influence our past, and heal from everything that, and actually just really rearrange things. But really what we want to do here is have the most optimal timeline, right? The timeline upgrade, as you stated, right? So I think that's really cool. And
which requires clarity.
Yes, there
Right?
it is right there. Instead of just saying jumping, yeah, I can jump all over the place, but I might land on something crazy, Just like when you're skipping, like if you're wildly skipping, you could skip under a rock and something, right?
Yeah.
So it's important to have that clarity. So yes, and that's one of your topics. Let's go there. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if we're going to make it all the way through this, but so one of the topics is, if you want a timeline jump better and faster, then and these are, I guess, manifestation steps too, but
Sure.
I feel like clarity is the key.
Yeah.
And it's not just clarity from you, but it's clarity from the field. It's how is the field bringing up the desire in your heart so that you can look at, okay, so what is this next version of me? But I'm also finding usually when I timeline jump, it's just basically the field does it for me. Like I just we're called to do a summit, or we're listening to somebody else that we're inspired by. And then we get something out of that. And because we've gotten something out of that, we change a point of view. And when that point of view changes, even if it's a baby little point of view, then then it actually offers us clarity.
Yes. I gotcha.
Yeah. And being able to disconnect from your old belief systems, your old narratives,
Huge.
right? That'd be
Huge.
number 2 on the list.
Yes.
Right. I mean, I'm trying to get my husband to, detach from one of his belief systems, or just be
Open.
open
Yeah.
to hear it instead of going, no, I don't believe it. And I think, I
So
mean,
be
gosh, that's like a lesson in receiving in itself,
yes,
right?
but it also allow him to have the magnetism
Uh-huh.
because you come at him with the elves, he's gonna go reject, right? And that's
Well, I
again,
tried to go Star Wars first.
I like it. He loves Star Wars, right? So, but still, like that's a big jump because we are still struggling to get our rockets off of this
Yes.
planet.
Yes.
And in my mind, I remember the day I had revelation. I was like, wait, in my mind, I think that we are already on. We work on ships in the sky, and I had to
Yeah.
remind myself that we are still trying to get our rockets off the ground.
Yeah.
So that sometimes can be a big jump when you're asking somebody to, from science fiction. However, everything's possible, right?
Well, I'm not saying that it's exactly that story.
Sure.
I'm saying I'm pretty certain from my remembrance that a Star Wars exists.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
I do agree.
and I do believe that a lot of these other uh I guess creatures on the planet, they do look very much like us. They've got usually 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth,
Yeah.
and then horns and things like that. So,
Interesting.
they're humanoid.
Yeah, I get that.
And most of these movies are humanoid.
Yep.
They're not like balls jumping around,
Yep. Yeah, no, I
right?
get you.
That just like
Yeah,
suck
yeah,
in
yeah,
air.
yeah, 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 yeah. I get you.
So that's just my thought around
No,
that.
I like it a lot. And here in this container of like
Yeah.
our show and even in Mystique, we all could get that. We receive that.
Yeah.
Now there was a time where I would be like,
I
girl,
know,
please.
how many
Like
times do we say that?
yeah.
I'm like, 10 years ago, no way. And now I'm just like,
Yeah.
yeah, no. And I at least like to hear people instead of like automatically rejecting
Me
people
too.
too.
I've always been open to the idea of like UFOs or aliens just because I don't I always gave myself the thing like if I just because I didn't understand it means that didn't mean that I should discredit it.
Yeah.
Right. I was open to just listening and learning.
Well, it would be a big waste of space if we're the only intelligent species.
I know.
Man,
It's a lot out
a
there.
lot of space.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Number two.
okay. Number 3. So
Through three.
number 3 is really that quantum embodiment.
Uh-huh.
And it could start with words like act as if, but I think it's more really getting it in your bones. And we've talked about this so many times on the show of, really having the belief in your heart and allowing that heart and that thought connect and that electrical magnetic signature
Yeah.
go out into the field. And I do think that takes a lot of practice. I feel like I'm getting a little bit better at it.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of practice. And then we're going to go in this in a minute, but that would be to really integrate some of this through hypnosis and meditation.
Yes.
And really go on these guided journeys for whatever you're really calling in, because you have this desire in your heart that is probably, also the field telling you.
Yeah.
How I see it. And then number 5 is to really make that decision. What would the future me choose for me right now?
You have it listed as shift state quickly. Is that right? So, really making the decision. Oh,
yeah, just making the decision.
Okay, gotcha.
And then you go into this quantum decision making. You say yes to it.
Yeah.
Actually, so
willing. You're willing to be willing.
The Tom Cruise clip that I put on Instagram. He's like, well, you have to walk before you run. And he just like simply took everyone through. People don't just write down what they want to do, like a skydive or do stunts, and they just, just are like, put it in the category if you can't do it. And he like told you the steps that he takes, these simple steps.
That's fascinating.
To walk before you run,
Yes.
before you run out of a plane. I need to like learn how to do it on land first.
Right, right.
Right.
Practice. Yes.
Practice and and visualize what you really desire here. Like
Yep.
this isn't rocket science, but I did feel like, I kind of wanted to put together, how this really works because people are like, what do you mean timeline?
Yeah.
We had a call with a man named Addison Ames that really brought this topic to us. And he showed us a visual. He's like, you're doing this all day, every day, and it just was kind of this like graph. And
Yeah.
it just showed like, every a couple hours you were doing it,
Yeah.
where you're just moving to a different timeline
Isn't that fascinating?
by the decisions you make.
Every single one.
And those decisions or even your non-decisions where you just procrastinate and put things off,
I read
that
a
is
good
still
article
a
about that.
decision.
Yes. I read a good article about that. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quantum decision making, you have it listed here as ask, what would the future me choose right now? And then meet that future self, right?
Mhm.
So sometimes it also asks us, like, so when I do timeline jumping, I'll say, what is something that I would do to celebrate? Even if it's just like jump around and have like high fives.
Yeah.
And so I'll imagine myself having done whatever it is I'm doing, right? So it's like maybe if I did a workout for like every day for the first week or something, what would I do at the end of that? And so I'm jumping around and I'm like, yeah, go girl. And then, so now put that back into infuse that to you now and do that exact same thing. So I jumped around kind of goofily as if I had already done it. And lo and behold, yes, I did do that workout every single day that week. Isn't that cool? Like,
That's
I
so
know
awesome.
yeah. I mean, and I was like,
Jumping
oh,
around.
because I could see myself already having done it, even something that small. And I was like, oh, this is working. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
Make bold assigned choices to create a feedback loop. So that way,
Yeah.
bold,
Well,
yeah.
so and gratitude
And the
right, falls
confirmation.
into
Yeah.
this. Like,
Yes.
one of the things that I haven't really worked on in meditation, and I should while it's summer, our beach house is up on the market. So, I'm like, what would it feel like when that house sells, or if it sells today, or what do I have a sense of that to feel like? How would that shift my like? How would I make different decisions because that house sold?
Yeah.
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 So that would be one way to kind of collapse down that old timeline and just almost act as if that house is already sold.
Yes.
Start making decisions based on
Yes.
that. I need to start doing
Yes.
that.
We talk a lot.
That.
We talk a lot about that for our business. Sometimes I'm like, if we get into a spiral of, whoa, this isn't working, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes we'll have to back each other up and be like, okay, what would we be doing right this moment if we were already there? Right. If we were already having that experience of what we do want the best outcome. And then usually our conversation changes and we're like, we'd be doing this and we'd be talking to these people and we'd be doing this. And so then we put the things, when I always say reverse engineer, we reverse engineer those things and it ends up being a very progressive and expansive conversation, and usually is like much more better.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And it's pretty much that simple.
Yeah. And then stay integrity with the new frequency.
Right.
You
That's
talk a lot about that.
Problem.
Yeah.
And that's another point in why those of you that aren't in Mystique might want to join Mystique, so that you're in the Growth Day app, and every single day you have to look at things that you're growing, that you're working on, that you're, in fact, now my to-do list in that app is going to be what I'm manifesting, what I'm timeline jumping.
Yeah, I was just thinking that today. Isn't that funny?
Oh wow, let's do it. Let's do it together and see how fast we can do.
Yes, all of us.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll be much more.
Let's sell my beach house together.
Yeah, for sure.
I have to think of some more things.
It says, so you have it listed here as when old patterns creep in, lovingly redirect yourself and ask, what timeline am I choosing with this thought? Ooh, when those creepy thoughts come in, right? So instead we can
when you start doubting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you can use your tools like in Mystique, in the Growth Day app, to kind of reconfigure and go back to here's what it would feel like if I had XYZ done. You always have to make room for this or something better too, right? So yes, we can sell your beach house, but if you want the greatest good, you also have to give room for that too. Because your guides, they know you're a badass. So they know you're going to manifest with the highest intentions.
Uh-huh.
So you have to give room for that as well. I always say this or something better. And remember, sometimes when things aren't like fully flowing the way you're like, I really want this to work out, it's because something greater is coming in.
Yeah.
Or it could be because something greater is. And most of the time, I have found that to be true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when I was forcing like jobs or something like that. Thank God some of that stuff didn't work out.
Yeah.
For real. A little bit would work out. And just enough to remind me that I'm a manifester. And then just like all the whole thing would get pulled out from underneath me. And I'm like, I don't even understand. This was already together. That deal was done, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I mean, all the way around. And it's because God wanted me in a different place. Yeah. I wanted me. I said this
You
was what I
wanted
wanted.
you in a different place.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine my life without this now.
I can't. I haven't seen myself upgrade this fast ever. You think that that's yeah. So
And that's another benefit of being with all the wonderful people in Mystique. Like the things we talk about is fascinating, and they are teaching me things all the time. Like it's so cool. I love it so much. I really do. I mean,
that sounds like like you're trying to prove that you really like it now.
No.
I really do.
No, I was gonna say it's the first time. I was gonna say it's the first time in my life that I actually feel like I belong within a group that doesn't judge for saying this. Like if I was sitting here in a Zoom group for work, there's no way I could talk about these kind of things. And I lightly talk about this stuff with Roy. You know what I mean?
No, and like I said, I can't even talk about it with my husband anymore because I keep getting like, he's like rolling his eyes at me. I'm like, this is just stupid. Why am I having this conversation with somebody that won't like expand the conversation? Like, I mean, I want to talk to people who want to have creative conversations.
Thank you for making my point. Yes.
You know, not somebody that is stuck in like, I believe this.
And they'll come, and those people will come around like in their own ways if it's their will. They have free will. Let them.
Yeah, we don't need to push them anymore.
Yeah, and same thing for like people that want to be a Mystique. If you want to, great. It's it's a magnetism thing. It's like if you want to, if you're being called, and if not, that's cool too. There's other places and other spaces that you might be checking out too.
Right.
I agree,
But
Leonka. If I do talk about this, it's filtered. Yes, right. So it's like, think about Janet. Like if she didn't have a space in which she was like doing this show, she could easily be wanting to share some of this stuff with her husband, and then he say, like, just imagine no Mystique, no show, no nothing, right? She's doing her own searching and her own journey. And she shares stuff like this with her husband. And then she's made wrong for maybe her Dragon Light channel, which I know we're getting close to time, which she will share. Yeah, which she will share, which is beautiful. She may not have ever been able to explore that side of her. And I know me personally, I would probably do the same. Like I would be embarrassed to be me because I didn't have a space to do this with a calling for it, right? So that's just the whole thing. That's really the whole premise here. And everybody is upgraded because we all come and share and talk about our really amazing, fascinating psychic gifts, period.
Yeah. And many of you have been doing this for a very, very, very long time.
You've been doing it for eons.
Eons, many of you. But in this lifetime, you're also been doing it.
Yeah.
So I just want to kind of look at some of your comments. Cool.
And a lot of us have like, I didn't know this.
Has it not been clearly stated that we started collaborating with Brendan Bouchard? We've only shared it twice, once before the last Mystique and once during the summit. which I've tried to nudge you to watch that one because I didn't really want to open up the whole page and talk about it. If you are interested in joining Mystique, it's at houthustle.com/join, JOIN, join. And if you join this week, this Friday, you're going to get the hypnosis either today or Friday, whichever one's the best. It will be Fridays because it will be longer. But then I'm also going to couple that with the hertz frequencies or chakras, if that's the frequency that's called. I have a feeling that this is going to go with the isochronic frequency in the hertz.
Nice.
So this, we can go ahead and go into it.
Sure.
But if you're looking for more specific information about Mystique, we went through that during the summit. Look on the replay page and grab that one. That will be one of the shows that we also keep open on YouTube. And the graphic in front of that says, join us. I figured it was more about, the specifics and less about what we actually are. At the end of that, Lianka does some Akashic channeling too.
Yeah.
So if you want to upgrade and you're currently in it, just send us an email so I can cancel your current account so that you can join through this way.
To the Brenda Burchard. And the app is fascinating. It really it's like it bridges the mysticism, which I don't think a lot of people really cover in the productivity space. And then it also helps you like achieve your goals. Like and he has tons of like life coaching and like, I mean,
AI,
just beautiful stuff. Yeah.
Go ahead. If you want to know more, you can look at that replay and then you'll get all the details. And if you just want to jump through it, you can go to where I shared the screen and walked through everything.
Yeah.
If that's faster for you guys. Perfect.
The other thing I was going to say, and I think I forgot already. It'll come back. All good. Oh, the other thing is if you join by Friday, you do get a complimentary 101. It's not
join before the 11th.
Yes, but before the 11th, you get a session, a private session, a 30-minute session with either Jeneth or myself. So we both have different ways in which we facilitate. You can choose. It's totally great, totally game. And it's a 30-minute one-on-one session. Normally those go for at least $222 for the session. And so that's completely complimentary as a fast action bonus. So that's a little bit of incentive if you do want to join the Mystique. So I just wanted to make sure that let you know that you didn't want you to miss out.
Anybody in Mystique that hasn't yet had a session,
yes,
I want you guys to feel free to take us up on that too.
Yep.
Because I think that it's important that we all at least feel like we've had a conversation that opens some doors.
Oh, it's fascinating.
I also, within the Mystique, I have this one person that's only signed up because she wants sessions. So you can also join for other reasons, like getting incredibly reduced sessions with me or Lianka. You can join to get 10% off special offers. You can get so that when we do these bigger summits and you want to get called on with the speakers, you can raise your hands.
That's right.
We take you in priority.
And you get all of the summit replays. So any summits going forward and any summits from before, you'll get all of the replays and then you can go through them on your own time. You can continue to listen to them. So I think lots of people find a lot of value in that as well. We've been working with a ton of really amazing speakers and all of our kind of, I don't want to say teachings, but all of the things that kind of really do build upon each other.
Yeah. And we are going to bring some of the people that were in the summit
I love it.
to our Mystique calls. Those go 2 hours.
Yeah.
So we have an hour that we could just bring in a speaker and you could ask questions of the speaker and play with the speaker. And then we still have another hour where we can just like do whatever we do. So, it's just a play. It's our cosmic gossip group, as I call it on the page.
It's like a coven. Yeah, we come with all of our or our magic spells and our and our what we've experienced throughout the month, and like, I mean, it's just fascinating. It really is. I love it so much.
It's low price. It's 37 for if you just want to join the group every month and get some of the other benefits. And if you want the whole shebang and you want to
with
do
the app, with Brendan's app,
with the app, then that's 49.
That's
so you choose your way you want to play. Choose your adventure, as my previous girl would say. All right. Mini hypnosis, I think. We're probably not going to go too long, maybe 10 or 15 minutes.
Good, you're good
Okay,
on time.
good? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. I had it here.
Everybody's all waiting. I see this on the chat.
You're waiting for it? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So if you haven't played before in the land of awesomeness, I'll tell you a little bit as we get it going. So awesomeness came through me through kind of a master healer that just walked through my body once. And then, like, I suddenly had this weird connection with the 5D. You can feel it start going. Wow. It often, for people, if I start to describe it, I take my two wrists and then I pay attention to the tingly. I get really, really present on it. And then and see, a lot of the people within our Mystique have caught this. And I say it's catchable because I caught it, and it just there it is. If can you sense it?
I like when you sometimes describe it as a thrum.
It's like a thrum, it's like a rhythm, it's like a heartbeat almost. Whew. All right, this one is named Timeline Jumping with Your Highest Self and Your Dragon Guides. Within my meditations, if you get distracted, I try to get you to kind of in the very, very back of your head, think of a word like let go, relax, and just start saying that mantra as you close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. And again, breathe in, calm, clear, light. And drop down as you exhale all the tension, the noisy thoughts, and any effort that you're trying to put into this to force yourself to turn that jump. And relax. And really feel it in your body and allowing your body to relax. Again, relax. We're going to take 10 counts. Down, down, down. This will be guided by your breath and integrating with the dragon breath that's coming through. Taking a deep breath in. 10. Feeling your head, your face, your jaw, your forehead, and your scalp soften and relax. Feel it. Feel the relaxation and the breath of the dragon coming through you now. 9. Allowing the space behind your eyes soften, loosen, and melt. Allowing in this deep, deep, heated breath that's almost like steam going up and down your body. allowing your jaw to relax, your tongue to rest. Seven, dropping your shoulders now, releasing any weight that you've been carrying along with you. Relax, feel it. 6, now allowing your arms to get really, really heavy and know that the universe has your back. It's supported by Mother Gaia. 5, now allowing your chest to open just ever so gently and naturally. And then heating up that breath a little more, bringing awesome in deeper to expand you even more. Find it and connect with the field. Moving on down, allowing your belly to soften, allowing your hips to release, and then feeling this warm, heavy, yet safe and guided breath breathing you. And 3, moving on down to your thighs and your knees and your calves and your ankles. Again, allowing that to warm up, softening and relax. Moving down to your ankles and your feet, noticing gravity, and then noticing that breath again that's moving through you and beyond you. And 1, becoming completely stilled, deeply relaxed, deeply at peace, deeply calm, dropping in, dropping in, dropping in. And you are here, and you are one with the field. And you're breathing the steam and the heat with this dragon of yours. And now I'm going to share a visual with you, and I want you to picture yourself there. Begin to imagine a vast starry sky above you. You float just beneath it, surrounded by cosmic silence and shimmering strands of golden light. Each glowing strand is a timeline. It's a possible choice, a possible life for you to choose. And your heart and your guide knows exactly which way to go. So now, appearing from the stars is this magnetic golden dragon. It's enormous, it's ancient, it's glowing even more of this warm, beautiful, relaxing light. And its wings ripple with rainbow fire, and its eyes reflect the galaxies. This dragon is your soul's guardian. It's the keeper of your next highest path. And you climb onto her back, your heart pounding with excitement. Yet you're calm and relaxed because you know this is the way. This is the Tao. She lifts you into the sky with power and grace. You're floating, you're weightless, and you're held. She soars with you through layers and layers of time, through clouds of memory, through veils that release identity. And all you sense is this beauty, this peace, and this knowingness. Everything you once believed about limitation can now be left behind. You begin to descend towards a landscape that looks both outward worldly and yet familiar. And it makes you very, very curious. As you look at this landscape, you wonder, and you wonder. This is the reality for your next timeline leap or jump. And it's been created right here, right now. And it's living. You land into this golden clearing. The air is rich and sweet and warm and the perfect temperature. You smell scents of jasmine and you feel awakened to some deeper sacred realms. Then the sun is warming up your body, making you feel soft and floaty. And your body has this tingles of recognizing that this might actually be something that you know. And there, just ahead, you see it. You see you. A future version of yourself. There you are. See it. You're radiant. You're clear-eyed. You're grounded. And you're magnetic. You are unresistible. You fall in love. You fall in love with that future version of you. You know that it's so much more than outwardly beauty. You know that that is the welcoming you. And it welcomes you with a smile and an open heart. So you step closer. You walk to them. And all of a sudden now, that dragon heat and the awesomeness comes together and you feel this merge. You are now them and they are you. You are now them and they are you. You are now them and they are you. And you tune into all the details of their world. What does their mornings look like? What kind of food and drink nourishes this body? Who, what, where, when, why, and how will you be with them? Who else is there in love and celebration and support with you? What does this feel like inside your body? And bring all the frequencies in and invite your guardian dragon for support. Strong, light, energetic. How do you feel? How do you be? How do you perceive, know, receive this? Now, generate it. Fully, fully generate it. Generate it. And be it. Generate it and be it. Generate it and be it. And then name it. What is the one word that comes to mind now? What is the one word that comes now? What is the one word that comes now? What is the one word that comes now? And how can you give it even more frequency of gratitude and joy, whatever it is? Turn it up. Turn it on. Turn yourself on. Turn it on. Turn it up. Turn it on. Turn yourself on. Amplify it. Let it pulse through your veins. Let it pulse through your heart, through your chest. Let it pulse through you. Feel it. Let it rise like a wave through your heart, all the way through your head, and back to your heart. Let your cells feel it. Let your being and your essence be it. And let this language of your body know it. Your body is this unconscious mind. And it now knows that it at any time can merge with this future you, the future them, the future you, the future them, and the future you. And it becomes, be it. And as the dragon circles above and watches in amazement, she begins weaving this golden spiral of light all around you, above and below you. These threads are conscious lights lacing through your spine, your organs, your brain, your entire being, the all of you, the infinite self. You know it. receive it. Receive it. Receive it. These threads are gently smiling into your inner organs, your kidney, your liver, your pancreas, your lungs, your heart, your throat, your eyes, your voice, and your brain. See it. See your heart loving and lushing in this golden light. See your pineal gland glowing like the crystal that it is. Become it. You are becoming biochemically, energetically, spiritually upgraded and aligned with your highest self. Be it. And now, this adoring dragon lowers its head and looks in your eyes. And she places a single golden scale at your feet. This scale is a sacred key designed to activate the path you are on now. Will you receive it?
Yes.
Will you receive it? Will you receive it? And you bow to her in deep gratitude, deep love, deep adoration, deep everything, because right now you feel everything. Your timeline is chosen. The next signature broadcast is ready, and your future is here now. It's done. Lust in it. Turn it up, turn it on, and enjoy it. Fall in love with yourself, with your life once again. Take a minute here, playing in this space, playing in this consciousness, playing with the rides and the journeys of this dragon. And now, you will gently step back on this dragon, and you will be returned a totally different person. Yes, your world may look very familiar, but you will return a totally different person. Amp up awesomeness as an infinite being. Let's do this together. Amp it up. And ride back to Earth. And I will count this down as we return. 1, feeling your breath, having the remembrance of that word. What was the word? 2, just becoming aware, wiggling your fingers and toes. 3, integrating all that you've received. 4, becoming aware of the room, your earth being, touching and really seeing the world again. moving through the layers of consciousness and light, knowing that that's still you. 6, remembering that dragon's presence and knowing that it's always there for you in this golden circle of light. 7, bringing back all that feeling of beingness from your future self. 8, feeling fully aligned, heart, body, mind, and soul. 9, your eyes are ready to open, being refreshed and clear. And 10, open your eyes, bring yourself back to the new you. You have timeline jumped, and your dragon is walking with you now. Take a breath, come back. And with that said, shall we just be in this and play in this? And to answer Tiffany's questions, the Mystique members will get this. And I'm also doing one for those people that choose to upgrade to the Growth Day Visioneering version. They will also get this. But yes, I'm going to put it to some isochronic music in the background, some hertz frequencies. Thank you. Thank you for your comments.
So
Isn't that
amazing. You
fun?
didn't want to come back. So beautiful, lovely.
Yeah. I have kind of the vision that maybe the people that really are invited to this work, that this is something that you get each week and then you can kind of listen to them every night for a week.
Yeah.
And and see what happens. I'll do it with you. But now that I'm done with the Fourth Wing Dragon book,
Yeah.
it's like, I'm so tired of hearing it. All right, you guys. Okay.
Just be sure to join us on Thursday, same
Yeah.
place.
You-
And find us on www.howthustle.com.
And Thursday we will continue this conversation, by the way.
Yay.
So
Love y'all.
love you. Enjoy. Bye, everyone.